Yeah, first of all, I think from a political standpoint that we have to get off oil. Heavy dependence on oil is some of the reasons we're fighting the wars in the Middle East. I think that transforming the world global economy from an economy totally dependent on petroleum to one that's based on, at least in some great part, sugar, to replace petroleum as a feedstock to make all the products that we're making today, or alternatives to those products. An example of that is we can take enzymes, break down biomass materials, convert them to sugar, use that sugar to feed bacteria and yeast to make plastics, polymer, gasoline, butanol, and a whole bunch of variety of other products. So to me, it's really more of a transformation of petroleum to sugar. It's a renewable resource. It can be grown locally. So if you're in Russia, you're in the US, you're in China, you're in India, you're in Europe or South America, you have your own crops that you can grow on land that's not being used to grow food, and you can convert that to sugar to replace petroleum. It provides jobs for the local economy, it provides opportunity, and allows us to wean ourselves off of this dependence on hostile oil. Well, again, it's we go back to biofuels. To fuel the world, we can take plant materials and convert it to sugar to replace petroleum. So you fuel it as a replacement for gasoline with ethanol and butanol from non-food sources, so you're not competing with food. You take the same concept, take biomass, make sugar. You can replace petroleum with plastics and chemical compounds and all kinds of polymers, things like PLA that are being done by NatureWorks. So this isn't something that might work, it's something that absolutely will work. The key here now is to crack the genetic code to identify what genes encode what enzymes to do it more efficiently, more effectively. And so that's what we're doing at Biotech, is we're taking these genes, we're making enzymes in a fungus, we're then mixing and matching the best enzymes to convert biomass into sugar for less at higher efficiencies, and then engineering this fungus to make them in large volumes at low cost. And so it's just a reiterative process. And it's kind of like the microchip world, going from a 384 processor to 46 to the Pentium to the most modern processors. So Biotech is really like Moore's Law. We follow the same kind of pattern: quicker, faster, cheaper, more efficient. And so we're not limited to the chemical world where 2 + 2 always equals 4. In our case, it's almost endless opportunities to drive yields up, efficiencies up, and at the convergence of all of this is the breaking down of plant cell walls into sugar at a cost that can compete with oil head to head. Well, I think it's obviously demonstrated that we can make sugar from biomass and we can turn that into ethanol. We can make sugar from biomass and we can turn it into butanol. We can turn it into plastics, we can turn it into polymers. It's at what cost? And with the advent of the Human Genome Project and the sequencing of the human genome, and now the subsequent sequencing of all the microbial genomes, we're learning things at a much more accelerated pace. And with the ability to do computational analysis, mixing that with genomics and proteomics, and putting all these disciplines together to create a fungal cell or a plant cell or some way to manufacture these enzymes at low cost that'll convert that plant material to sugar at a fraction of what it is today, which will drive the economics. And once you have sugar, you can replace petroleum as a feedstock. So you need to look at a barrel of petroleum or oil equivalent to a barrel of sugar. The difference is a barrel of petroleum is finite, unless we want to wait another billion years for heat and pressure to create more of it. A barrel of sugar is infinite and is renewable. So we can take that biomass of today and grow it tomorrow. And we can grow it locally, and we get some renewable resource. So it's something that can be done for local economies, so you're not relying on hostile oil in the Middle East. You can grow it in your backyard. You can provide American jobs, or you can provide jobs in China or Russia or India or Brazil or wherever you want to provide these jobs. So you can grow their agro-economies with really as a petroleum replacement. And so the matter here is it's the convergence of all these technologies. It's here today. All the things we've been waiting for, the tools to build the house, are here. Instead of building the house with a hammer and a screwdriver, we have the Black & Decker power driver now, okay? And so now we have the carpenters, which are the scientists of all the different disciplines, whether it's genomics and proteomics or fungal expression systems in the industrial enzyme world. And all these things have come together today to be able to allow you to drive the economics and the efficiencies to where they need to be to make these commercially viable. It's not if it's going to happen, it's when.